So, before I begin talking about this movie, remember that scene in Toy Story 3 when Woody was telling us all the toys that were sold over the years? And then when they mentioned Bo, he is in this very pensive mode. Well, I'm pretty sure the beginning of this movie is pretty much what he was thinking about. And I have to say, that was smart. Toy Story 4. I cannot believe it. One thing I can definitely tell you, I am with all those people that said Toy Story 3 is the last movie. Making a trilogy, it pretty much wrapped everything from beginning to end. But of course, there were a few loose ends here and there, but it's nothing too massive to bring in a sequel. But apparently, we got a sequel. Now, honestly, I can definitely tell you I was not excited to go see this movie. Because, like I said before, the third pretty much closed everything, and even though there was a few loopholes to make a sequel, you pretty much wouldn't be excited about. But I can definitely tell you, even though I was not excited about it, of course I was going to go see it. It's a Toy Story movie, a movie from Pixar, and I love these characters, and I've seen the short movies before the Toy Story 4 was even announced. So I pretty much saw this as a standalone movie, but also an extension of those short movies. And to be honest, some of them reference those movies just a little bit. Just a little bit. So the plot pretty much focuses on not Andy anymore, but actually Bonnie, who is now going to kindergarten. And during her kindergarten orientation, she decides to make a friend out of a spork, and well, it ends up coming alive, much to the toys' shock. So now Woody's priority is to actually keep Forky from going in the trash, because Forky pretty much is trying to throw himself in the trash constantly, because apparently he feels like his only purpose was to be used once and then go to the trash. But Woody tries to show him that there's more to him than just getting thrown in the trash, and that's pretty much most of our movie right there. There was definitely a lot of things I really enjoyed. For example, Tom Hanks as Woody, he does a splendid job. So does Tim Allen, even though he kind of has his screen time is kind of a bit short, but he gets to do a lot in this movie. And also, Bo Peep is in this movie, and now she is a much stronger, more independent and toy character, and she pretty much is a lost toy helping other lost toys find owners, which I feel like, that's a pretty neat storyline for her. But of course, there are a few minuses in this movie, some things that I just didn't like. One thing I can definitely tell you is the beginning of the movie kind of threw me off a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy these first 10 minutes, because I remember the first time I got into the theater, I was thinking, let me see if this movie hooks me up. First 10 minutes, totally hooked. There were some scenes they tried to do with Andy, and you can definitely tell that the animation is not the same from before. But to be honest, the designs from Toy Story 3 of Andy were actually much better than here in Toy Story 4. And I don't know why. For example, they actually try to recreate the final scene from Toy Story 3 where Andy is with Bonnie, and it looks not as good as Toy Story 3. But that's the only problem I have with the animation. Everything else looks good, very photorealistic. And also, this is not a minus for me, but this could be a minus for anyone else. Some of the toy characters are actually sidelined. They actually get very limited screen time. So if you wanted to see Jessie, you were not going to see Jessie that much. But I can definitely tell you there are a few scenes that she steals, even though they're very small. Also, one thing I like to point out is Mr. Potato Head. He is one of those toy characters that gets limited, but I do understand why, mainly because the voice actor for Mr. Potato Head passed away, but he still got to say a few lines, and I really like the story. This is some of the behind the scenes. Apparently, the family members of Don Rickles, the voice of Mr. Potato Head, wanted the studio to actually incorporate something into the movie, and they looked over some dialogues that they didn't even use in all the movies, and they tried to put them into this movie, and it came out amazing. They actually had enough to incorporate into this movie, and it was nice to see Mr. Potato Head talk again, and I really enjoy that. That's just a little trivia I wanted to tell you, because I feel like that was one of the things that actually really made me emotional about the movie. Which brings me to the next part. Is this movie emotional? Oh, you bet it is. Yes, there are some very emotional moments, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be some people that will cry, and there's no shame. This packs a punch. I can definitely tell you. And just like Toy Story 3, I kind of held a little bit. Like, I didn't really cry at all. Like, there are some very emotional moments, but to me, it wasn't too emotional. Like, it wasn't like I didn't really like bawl my eyes out like I did when I saw Coco, but I can definitely say it is a very it packs an emotional punch, and I can understand why some of the voice actors couldn't finish recording, because that final act definitely gave us a very emotional standoff. I can definitely tell you that. Yeah. So overall, Toy Story 4 is actually a very good sequel. It didn't disappoint. I can definitely tell you. And I don't really want to tell you much about it, because like Toy Story 3, it's a sequel that you gotta see it yourself to experience it. Because overall, it did give us so many things, some very good characters. And even though I didn't talk about the new characters like Duke Kaboom or Gabby Gabby, I can definitely tell you I don't want to spoil anything, because this movie is just unspoilable. So Toy Story 4, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And well, that is it for Toy Story. Now, I actually have a few projects planned, but I don't want to say them because I don't know which ones will I get to first. So that you just have to tune in next time and you will see what comes next. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye bye.